Get you
Hi,
going.
everyone.
Howdy.
There's
Good to see
Brenda.
you.
Hello.
There's
My
Brenda.
mic was muted.
There's our sister. Brenda's
Hi,
in the
you
house.
guys.
Awesome.
Hi, Brenda. Yay.
Hi,
So good to see you,
everyone.
Mom.
Yes.
Well, thank you guys so much for joining us tonight in Andromeda 7 Celestial Gateway. We appreciate you spending this time with us. And yes, it's so good to see you. I know, Brenda, that you have a surgery going on with your hand. So I want everyone to just kind of just send Mom some good energy, that everything goes well and that everything gets to functioning the way it should be. So I know it must be driving you crazy. You can't work in your garden at the, everybody's getting their gardens ready. So, but you'll get back into the swing of things. I just believe it. Yep. I do. Yep. And guys, don't forget to order your Brian Barnett memorial cards. Okay, get your decks going. We really appreciate that, so we can get them shipped out to everybody.
You know what's going on there? Did Al tell you what's going on there? He's got a limited amount that he's already collected. It's like a little over $500. It's not enough to cover all this extra postage because of this crazy situation that's going on.
Yeah. Okay,
particularly if he has to send those decks overseas. Because then there's additional higher costs associated with a simple card deck. It's driving the prices up. And from our original quotes. And so he's barely got enough to cover the postage on the 29 decks he's already gotten orders for. So we need more orders in. So everybody that volunteered to be in the deck, if you can, I mean, it's tight right now for most folks, but whatever you can do to get a deck would greatly help this process along so that we can cover, because we did build in enough money for postage.
Does anybody know how much more he needs?
Yes. Originally, he was supposed to get up to like $895, $900 in the account in order to, because of the printing costs for up to 100 to 200 decks. But since he's only getting an order, there's 56 people in this deck.
Steve says he needs shipping money is
shipping money is the big thing, right?
Yeah.
Steve, so we need more orders to help cover, because each deck has a certain amount built into it for shipping, and that goes into a shipping bucket. So
I ordered a couple of decks, so I'm in there.
Yeah, so I don't want to speak out of turn about the exact mathematics. I just know that he's short of what he really needs to help cover.
Yeah, just
these
wanted
charges.
to kind of get a guesstimate of how close he is to his goal. So
maybe he can announce that on Robert's show. I'll send him a note, and
Yeah, that way we have a goal estimate to get
target
to.
target.
Good target.
The original target was like over $800, but that was based on 100 or more decks. And there's only there's 56 people. We've only 29 people have ordered, I think, or something like that. So we're half of where we need to be in terms of people.
We just need the other half.
Yep. So
yeah, you guys. So go over to the Crystal Quartz Network and get over to that page, and you'll see the link that shows where to get your Brian Barnett memorial cards, and get over there and get you some.
Yeah.
All right. So I want to say hi to everybody in the chat. Elderberry, hey, and Slightly Slanted Sleuth, hey, Steve. William Swan Jr. is here.
Yeah.
Lucky Stone, David Castle, hi, Kelly. Oh, let's see who else. We have, let me get down. Oh, Michelle, hi, Michelle. And then we also have, let's see if I'm missing anybody. Doug
Did you
Stack,
get
hi,
Doug Stack?
Yeah, Doug, hi, Doug.
Dougster and Elderberry.
Yep.
Mary Wins, what's up, girl?
Oh, yeah.
Hello. You.
Hey, Mary.
Hi. Oh my gosh. All right, you guys. Well, before we get started with tonight's show with Mandy Moo and our wonderful, beautiful, lovely sister and her research, I do have a poem that Brenda asked me to read for you guys. So before we get started, I would like to go ahead and read that. Is that okay?
Yeah.
All right. Cool. All right, so this is from Margaret B. Moss, of course. And it is, I have learned to be grateful even when I feel sad, to think positively in the midst of negativity, to hold on to hope when I feel hopeless, and to accept love when I feel unlovable. I listen for the angels whispering over the worry and static in my head. The sun shows up every morning. Surely you can do the same. Rise and shine, people, rise and shine.
Yeah.
We can rise up in our gratitude in the midst of our darkness or our storms. I know that sounds so cliche and so foo-foo, but I really, really mean it. Like I've been through it. Like I've lived through that. Like we've all been through that in some form or another in our own lives. You know, it's like you've really had to just grit your teeth and bear it, but try to find something to be grateful for. A gratitude list, you know, writing down the things that you have right now that you're happy to have and be grateful for. So
I'm grateful to be here right now.
Thank you, Brenda, for that.
Thank you, Brenda. I always love her poems. They always give me goosebumps, and they're really such a powerful message that we can all relate to for that week, I find. So thank you so much.
Yeah.
She loves Margaret B. Moss.
Yeah.
Margaret B. Moss. Yeah.
Well, we love her.
Chick, you know?
Yes.
Yeah, we do. Like you just want to sit and chat for hours with her.
Welcome, 1111. Awake and Aware is here. 1111. Good to see you.
Oh, yeah. Hey.
Wow, that's great.
We could use some 555 love. Right on. Dropping it in.
For real.
There we go. Hey.
What a perfect show to come in on, talking about the new energy shift that everyone's coming in on. Perfect.
Yeah. The 111s have been really following around a lot lately.
Me too. I've been seeing it a lot. And the 555. Yep.
Yeah. That's interesting that we're all kind of syncing up like that. Of course, great minds do attract alike, you know. So.
For sure.
It's 311 right now. It's 311 right now. In Germany.
You're up at 3:11 a.m.
In Australia, it's 111 right now in Australia.
I like that.
I just looked up and there it is, 111.
No way.
It's 11:11 right now in Australia.
It's 111 over there.
Yeah.
111.
Get out of here. That's the number that you say.
I just 11:11.
Oh my
That's
goodness.
great.
It's like, okay, guys, what do you want to say to me? Say it, please.
There you go, Mandy. Play that bowl, Mandy. Play that bowl.
Yeah, play it.
It felt like a Brian
Trina to do hers with Mandy. You know, that's a nice bowl. Hold that up again.
Yeah, I like
it. Size bowl.
Ooh,
pretty.
I like that.
Ooh,
purple.
What does the inside of it look like?
Purple.
Oh wow, nice.
That's gorgeous.
Yeah.
And
I like that.
If anyone has singing bowls, I love to fill mine up with different amounts of water and see how the energy changes when I play it. So that's a
cool
great
idea.
way to play with.
Very interesting.
Can you imagine Trina lifting hers? It's like this huge bowl with water.
I've got that big one too. I couldn't do that one.
That's a nice.
You just got
some pots.
That thing will vibrate the walls. That's how much.
What you do,
it does.
Trina, what you do is you fill it up halfway with water, and you wash your hair and dunk your head in it, and then somebody comes along and goes, "Bong!"
You would probably be stargated out of here in frequency, so you might drown in the bowl. So yeah,
you come out with your hair sticking straight up.
It's like yeah.
Just quickly, all of us are laughing, and Delabor's looking like it could be a viable idea.
Actually, I have tuning forks.
I've got those.
I just don't have them with me right now. What I typically do with the tuning fork is, when I fill up the bathtub and I go inside the water, I'll strike the tuning fork and it vibrates the whole water. And somehow it feels like it's activating your whole body, but I still have to play with that a little bit more. Yeah.
Excuse me?
I was thinking the same.
Excuse me?
She went there.
Always play with it a little more, guys. Always play it a little more.
A little more.
Yep.
Right.
But bum. Hey.
Yeah.
We're here all
Welcome
night,
to Andromeda 7. We are all on the same thinking here.
It's like, no, she didn't.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So, Mandy, I wanted to get you started on your discoveries and how I've kind of always just thought crystals were and stones were just kind of crystallized form of spiritual water. So take it away, honey.
Okay, so I just quickly, Slightly Slanted Sleuth said he filled his with BBS and water. So I'm interested to know what BBS is. So yes, crystals, everyone sees them in different ways. For some people, they are, for me, I needed them as tools to tune in with that were there for me. I started off with a little bowl and just going through different tumblestones and identifying which ones I sat with that day, and then looking up the meanings, which was great for mindfulness. And so that's how I started with crystals. However, it's really the power that you give them. If you just believe that they are just there to look nice, or you could believe that they are water spirits. Either way, because I've actually started to look into something recently, which is something to do with quartz being a form of water as such.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, thank you. Yes, something that Jules has said and someone else has said to me, and it actually had me, I've been looking into it a lot lately, and that's just normal quartz. But not only is quartz a crystal, but you even have things like amber. So, and these things change our resonance, and because they each vibrate at a different frequency. And so what these crystals do is they bring our frequency, they come down to our frequency and then slowly raise our vibrations when we work with them.
Agreed. It's great. It's almost like a musical tones. It's like some are going a little faster, some are going a little longer, and like this, and some are like this. And it's almost like as you start really holding them and being around them, you could kind of tell which notes and what frequencies and what patterns they're kind of coming off as, because honestly, I just feel like the earth is one big, giant, living crystal, So, I mean, that's just how I see the earth, the realm, as a big, giant, living crystal, But that's just my crazy crystal perspective, I think there's a little seed of truth in it, though, right? Because
I think so. Yeah.
Nothing is static, right? Nothing is static.
When I was a little girl and they showed me that vision of the new world, and they were showing me how this earth is out of tune. It's not making a good sound. And then when it's corrected, the whole earth would sound like a symphony. And it was the most beautiful song I'd ever heard in my life. And it was coming out of everything. Everything's frequency was it was in harmony, and it made a song.
Yeah.
And Crystal, you're not too crazy at all to think that everything is a crystalline form of some sense, because we have a look at how molecules bond, and we used to think that air was just something that wasn't there, but we're starting to understand that the air is molecules of stuff which form together in a crystalline ladders as such. So everything, even the way trees form, they form in a very crystalline structure. And so you're not far from the truth there. It is all a crystalline form in one way or another.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, and so even our pineal gland has piezoelectric crystals inside of our brain.
Yes. This is the next level to this, which I find so fascinating. My whole life, I have been so fascinated with bioluminescence. So I just wanted to ask you, have you noticed, increases or decreases with Earth's frequency, the Schumann resonance? Have you noticed it dimming or getting stronger within the crystals and their bioluminescence? Have you noticed any shifts?
I haven't done anything around the Schumann resonance with the bioluminosity, but that is a really good question. However, when you talk about crystals, new minerals that they found in 2017, they discovered the opalite on the shores of Michigan, which looks like a normal river rock, but has bioluminescent factors. A couple months ago in Australia, all of the sharks off the Tasman Sea were bioluminescent. California, as well as Australia and many other countries, have experienced these bioluminescent coastal lines for a few days at a time, which is things that we haven't really seen before. So even the mushrooms that are growing, and I've even noticed different types of timber give off different colors when they're under the different UV lights.
Yeah, and you're going to show us some of that
Yes.
in a little bit, but starting with those toxic crystals, I was absolutely shocked when you first showed me this list, and I'm like, wow. And now you've narrowed it down to some of the most common crystals, and I had no idea. And most of us who are just starting to work with crystals don't have a clue. And you're saying that it's mostly a result of when they're cracked or broken that we're subject to their toxicity.
Oh, it's not just cracked or broken. So did you want me to cue up my little video?
Yeah.
All right. Awesome.
Please.
Sorry.
No, you're doing fine.
While she's doing that, she's been posting, check out her Facebook page, and she's been posting videos out on Facebook. She's got her own YouTube channel now too. And she's got these videos out there that are very useful.
I'm going to go through now is just some basic maintenance of just everyday crystals that some of us might have at home. So I've got my safety glasses, I've got a paintbrush, and I know people are not going to like me saying this, a mask. This is the one time where a mask is necessary because of crystalline dust management, and we've got to make sure we don't breathe that in. So I'm just going to go through some very basic crystals with you now that a lot of us would have. So satin spar, which is often labeled as selenite. I've got some malachite, some crocosite, I can't say it properly, some bismuth, some tiger's eye, which has also got some blue tiger's eye, some blue kyanite. And so the first thing I'm going to show you is malachite. Malachite is a copper oxide, and it's perfectly safe when it's polished. However, the danger is when it is raw. See those tiny little fibrous crystals? You wouldn't want to breathe those in. It also becomes toxic when it's wet as well. Hence why what I've just done with the raw pieces, so I've sat them on a acrylic base. So there's absolutely no need to interact with that crystal and touch it because of its toxicity. But yet again, malachite in its polished form is perfectly fine. So this here is some crocosite. So this is a highly toxic lead crystal. It's from Tasmania. And the best one for this is that I keep it in a little container all by itself. So those tiny little lead crystals, which are so delicate, don't break off and I can't inhale them. Another lead crystal that I have is vanadinite on barite.
Gorgeous.
Another lead crystal. So yet again, just got it
That's
on
a rabbit.
That's what I see too. I saw that too.
That's a rabbit.
That's what I saw. That's a rabbit.
Always. Bismuth is another one. Now, bismuth is a heavy metal, so you want to be careful that you don't allow it to absorb into the skin too much. So you don't want to play with this one too much. And the tiger's eye. And it's also got a little bit of blue in through there. And it's perfectly safe in its polished form. But here I've got a good example of something that happens to all of us. This one's chipped.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where crystals can become toxic. Because what tiger's eye is it's solidified crocodite and bits of asbestos that have like turned into silica and got silica. They've started to turn into silica, but you still have those bits of asbestos in there, and then this is where it becomes toxic. So yeah, things like this, it's just better to throw away. And unfortunately, there's not enough people, not enough retailers give this information. So tiger's eye, perfectly fine in its polished form, can become toxic in its raw form because one of its fibrous particles, which you can breathe in, but also because of its makeup being asbestos, really. And so now this is
asbestos
and mask. So this is a common crystal that we all have, which is a form of selenite gypsum. So it's fibrous gypsum known as satin spar. Get a little bit closer for this one. And so what you notice is when I run my finger like that, I'm left with these tiny little particles. It's perfectly fine in its polished form. When it's raw, it lets off a lot of these little tiny little fibrous pieces. So just a simple way, I'll show you that all over there. Tiny little fibrous pieces. It's a great way to clean it. Chuck a mask on, and yet again, just some basic eyewear protection, because if any of this gets in your eye, it's nasty. I'm just got a paintbrush. And what I'm going to do is just give it a dust off. For me, having people come in and look at this stuff, I would do this daily, but if it's just sitting within your house, I just recommend once a week, just giving it a little brush with a paintbrush. And with your mask on, because as I said, you don't want to breathe any of this in. This is actually worse than breathing in things like your fiberglass and stuff, because they're little crystal particles and they don't break down as well as some of your other particles. And so just a little light brush down. So I put that all over my fingers now. And you can see all of those little particles that have built up there. And that is where crystals can become potentially dangerous if we don't manage the ones that we have correctly. And the other one that I mentioned, I'm just going to fold this over. It's just some kyanite, and I'll show you why. So this one I just had in glass. I'll just get those out of there. And just pick up those little pieces, put them back in. And on that piece of paper,
all the
bits of crystalline dust have come off the blue kyanite. So these crystals can be great for helping us with metaphysically help change our vibration to something that's more resonating with us, as long as we're using them safely. And that's all that it takes.
Wow.
Right on.
So
Thanks,
all those
Mandy.
little fibers, my dad was a dental technician. He made teeth. And our family, it was like a family business. My brother was in it too. They wore the masks and the goggles and everything because as they're grinding on the enamel. Pieces of that would get in, but it's precious metals like silver, gold, and it was always an amalgamate. It always had different levels of different types of gold or other metals in it. Those little shards, those tiny little dust pieces, got into my dad's lungs, and they caused his lungs to bleed. So he was coughing up. He was coughing up blood because it got into his system. So later on, he got more protective. But even grinding on stones of any kind, or let alone crystals, crystals are like they'll cut you. They'll cut your lung.
Like glass.
No.
Worse than glass. If you've had a piece of crystal in your foot, it does not break off like the glass does. It just sits there and keeps moving. But it definitely, and if we already have those predisposition factors, as in, like, I know myself, I was a smoker when I was younger, like, you know, so if I've already done that to my lungs with the tobacco smoke and things like that, so I don't want to give myself any more predisposition factors that could potentially put my lung health in jeopardy. But I still like to use the crystals, so it's about doing it in a way that's safe.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I work with lye, and yeah, it's safety goggles, mask, you know, the whole everything's got to be protected.
I just didn't even think of it.
Breathing that in at all, like, didn't
even think of it, because I crack open geodes with the kids, and I do these things. I scrub them, you know, and I scrub the quartz and I brush off all the impurities, and I just wasn't thinking.
Yeah, wear a mask. It can't hurt to wear a mask when we're doing things like that. You know, it can't hurt us. It actually can be just one little personal protective, you know, equipment that we can use in our lives to just, you know, do things safely. I'm all about doing everything safely. You know, we can have fun, we can create things, we can work with things. It's just got to do it safely. Absolutely.
Is obsidian a safe stone, Mandy? There's a big conversation going on in here about obsidian.
Yeah, the obsidian.
Is there anything?
Obsidian is a safe stone. However, it is one that gives off a lot of dust when it is fractured and cracked. So it can be a safe, completely safe stone to work with. The issue comes, and it's a hardy stone, is when you drop it. But when it comes in terms to the safety of it, this is sort of, if you have a yoni egg, they should only be obsidian. Otherwise, you're risking your health. So that's one thing I know about obsidian and the dust that can clause with it. And I had obsidian break. It fell on the floor, it broke, and it jumped up and about this far and stabbed itself right into my leg. So it is very sharp. So be careful if it breaks.
Wow.
So what about they're making yoni eggs with like rose quartz and stuff?
Delbert, what were you saying?
No, I suppose, like, for that one stone that Mandy showed that was fractured on the edge, I suppose you could take some nail polish and just gloss
Seal
over
it.
that. And in case you have a stone like that other one that you were saying that gives off toxic dust, maybe coating the whole thing with nail polish might help. Just an idea.
It is a good idea, but like this is where I personally prefer natural polishes over resins or something like that. So for me, that blue asbestos, it's not worth it. It's much easier for me to throw out that stone rather than coat it in nail polish. What happens if the nail polish chips off? And just things like that.
You could use like a concrete treatment, like sealant for concrete. That's the same thing as nail polish, basically. That's also like an acrylic-based thing, and you can just paint that on it, and it'll seal it.
Definitely, and if it was any bigger, I would do my best to repair it. But like I said, just because it's a tiny little stone, something I have, it's better for me. I would prefer not to accidentally get it mixed up with anything here, and so that's just my personal.
Give it back to Mother Earth. She'll.
She'll. You know.
In your video, you're saying tiger's eye is full of asbestos. I'm like, that's my favorite stone. I had so much jewelry with tiger eye.
Asbestos. It is. That's blue asbestos. It starts off as blue asbestos, tiger eye, tiger iron, and then iron ore. That's the process over.
But tiger's eye is a lot safer than your blue tiger's eye because it's actually had a lot more of the silica penetrate and take over its fibrous crystals. Where the issue with tiger's eye comes is the fibrous crystals that break off, and you can potentially inhale, or when it's wet, it can absorb into your skin, and that's where you want to watch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you can't like take your spiritual bath and just throw whatever you want in there. You know, you have to be very careful about, you know, people like, oh, I take baths with the crystals. Which one?
Oh yeah, show us, Mandy. You're saying that they're putting crystals in their water bottles, thinking that they're charging the water, and it's really not safe. What can you tell us about that? I had no idea.
I have some crystal obelisks. So this is a amethyst, and as you can see, there's lines of dirt through there.
Mm-hmm.
And this one is an adventurine. So both of these are common, and you can see the lines and the cracks of dirt and how it changed. So both of these are quite common to finding these crystal obelisk bottles. Now, apart from the fact you can't get them out in order to clean underneath them, and you've got a build-up of your basic bacteria and things like that, these stones took thousands of years to form. How do you know what dirt is in the center of those? And inevitably, water over time is going to wash out that dirt.
Wash it out.
And
you're ingesting that.
And
not
you're
good.
ingesting. Yes, exactly. And that's one thing. And not only that, is the person that made it, they barely have time for toilet breaks. So they don't have time to wash their hands after their toilet break. They're going back to work with all the polishing agents. They're not washing it off before it goes into the obelisk bottles because it's only a couple that have to meet the standards before they get into the country, and they're not testing those big shipments coming in after that.
Yeah,
so,
the big shipments, you mean?
So then
I'm bad.
You've also potentially got nasty bum germs and toxic polishes on that stuck in your crystal water bottle with bacteria underneath that you can't clean off. And I just think that that's a danger. It could potentially be a danger and something we need to think about. Would you go and eat a handful of dirt? And if not, then
so if you're going to charge your water, do it with intention. Don't put crystals in there.
I'm very, very meticulous about how I do charged crystal water.
She's going to show you a method. There's a method here.
Yeah, I have a couple of slabs. So this is pre-night, which is about healing the healer. So this is actually, it doesn't go well with water because it's an ion silicate of calcium and aluminum, and this is opalized wood. So it's just petrified or fossilized wood that the bits of silica have penetrated and gotten into. In this case, it's opalized under certain conditions. So this is about protection, and this is about healing the healer. And so we can simply just grab that and our glass bottle of water and just place that on the top, and that will be enough to give that same crystal charge into your water.
God, there's two of you.
Wow,
Maybe do that again. There was two of you.
Delaney's saying you can simply put a music speaker near your refrigerator and play 432 hertz to tune the water.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You can use frequency of music for water. Absolutely. Just your voice, just your words can affect the frequency of the molecular structure.
You
know what?
That's right.
You know what I typically do? You know what I do once a day when I make my vitamin C solution? I put the vitamin C in the water and I take an electric stirring machine. I stir it in the presence of a strong magnet. And that aligns the magnetic field of the water. That's also recommended by some people.
You know, the other day I was out with Ruby and it was really hot. And I was in a hurry. So I came back into the house and I didn't take the time to get my clean water. So I just grabbed some ice cold water out of the tap, it's not one of my protected, it's one of my regular faucets. And so I take a swig and I'm like, chlorine in this, I didn't like, but I was desperate for that water. So I don't know what possessed me. I don't know where it came from. It could have come from, I thought about it later. There was a show where Jules was showing us your energy, your hand. And I took this thing of water. It was a mug of cold water. And I went.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I downed it and I didn't taste any chlorine at all. It was the best cup of water I ever had.
It's
And I
amazing
just
what
thought
you
that it
can
was
use your water with.
strange. I'm like,
Yeah,
tell me-
molecular structure. You're changing the molecular structure of it with your intent.
Right.
That's the masters that we are. It's your intention.
I was shocked, and I'm like, where did that come from? And so I did it again. I got another cup of water. I tasted. I'm like, ew, boy, and I did it again.
Yeah, this is why they say pray over your food. It's amazing.
Oh my God.
Pray over everything.
That eat all the same thing, and the one that prayed at the table was the only one that didn't get the food poisoning.
I've experienced that. I have exactly. Everybody else got sick but me. But because I just took a moment to just
and prayed the food. Yeah, blessed it. Yes, absolutely.
But it's not like I was invoking. I wasn't saying, "Oh, Jesus, Son of God, let me."
No.
It wasn't anything. I was just like, I don't want to taste this. I don't want to taste this crap, and I just want some delicious cold water. That was my intent.
And you transmute it. Yes.
Yeah. It tasted just like a bottle of distilled or
spring water.
Yeah.
I got a question for Mandy.
Wow.
Sure.
Yeah.
Question. What crystals are good to start with? So let's just say you're a beginner and you don't know what to buy. You're in the crystal shop and you're like, I see all these beautiful crystals, but what do I buy if I'm a new person to the crystals? What are good starter crystals for people?
The first one I would recommend is amethyst and rose quartz. They're the best two to start off with. Clear quartz would follow soon after that, but once you've done that healing and that self-love back into alignment, because clear quartz is about amplification and manifestation. A ventrine, you can even go down to your local river, and certain rocks that you identify with are great starting ones because you can go and see if you can identify what the minerals are within those. So
what are the most powerful crystals? What are the ones that really pack a punch?
Oh, okay. So,
black tourmaline.
You know, the ones that just really.
Listen, I have a story for that one. I mean, I think I've shared it, but yeah, I have some powerful stuff happened with black obsidian and black tourmaline, like earth-shattering, life-altering, reality-shaking up stuff. That I realized, like, oh my gosh, you know, I wasn't prepared for the gravity of the situation. And when I realized I was just like, no, I'm just going to do a little meditation with my quartz, my black tourmaline, my, lapis lazuli. I had a whole thing. And it just like almost immediate is like somebody went, okay, your life's upside down now, because that's what we do. We shake everything out of order to kind of create a little chaos to get it to come back in a better form. But if you're not prepared for that, you will. It's scary. It's scary, really scary.
How do you clean your crystals? What's a good technique to clean your crystals?
So here I have just a amethyst, and I can sit my crystal on that, and that's a way of cleaning it. Some like to be buried. Some like to be put out in the moonlight. Some you can simply smudge or just put the intention. You can just hold it in your right hand. So left hand is energy in, right hand is energy out, and just picture a bubble forming around your hand. And like the Omo ad, it's just going to clean and rinse. And then you just picture those water turning into light and then slowly dissipating. And then your crystal's clear. Your crystal has your energy, your intention. So ultimately, if you believe it's clear, it's clear. If you go, it's depleted, it will be depleted. And that's the biggest thing I really feel is just, you'll know when it's right. And if the crystal feels depleted, you'll be like, where is that crystal for 2 months? Until one day you open a random drawer in the laundry, which you haven't put your crystals near, and it comes rolling out.
I like to clean it with some salt water.
Yes.
Just
and
kind
sage.
of sage.
Sage smoke.
Especially if people have been handling my crystals, it goes right in the salt water.
Blue.
She's going to go into this in a second, but it's a good transition question. And Mandy, you have been talking about how crystals right now, because of the energy changes that are going on, and I always thought that crystals could only grow underground from pressure, heat. But you're saying your crystals are growing out of the ground. And sometimes you do put them in a little bit of earth to help them along. But you've shown us powder that you're getting off of them and seeing new growth on crystals. What is going on with that? And how does that relate to light and what's going on with the energy?
Okay, well, how about I play my luminosity video and I'll go get a few of my crystals that have grown.
Yeah, Steve Stone's been waiting for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Have you guys ever heard of a angel aura quartz? Mandy, pull up your video and I'll just kill the dead time for you. So it's called angel aura quartz. David brought it to me as a thank you gift. Perry, I don't know if you guys can see that. Oh, it's super pretty. It's really like opalescent. It's really. Oh, let me see.
We'll have you hold it up again when her video finishes.
Yeah,
that's pretty.
Oh, okay. We'll let her do her video.
Then we'll highlight yours.
UV light. You always want something with the tube over the LED light, as the LED lets in too much of the light spectrum. And so here I've just got some mangano calcite, amazonite, sodalite, pink argonite, some black tourmaline in higher light or water opal. I have some ruby and zoisite and some ruby as well. I have emerald, fluorite, which fluorescence actually gets its name. Fluorescence gets its name from the word fluorite because of its fluorescent content. I'll show you that soon. This is just a rock I got from the river. Sapphire. Petro quartz. Lapis lazuli. Lapis lazuli is a great one.
I'm going to go live in her shop.
I know, right?
So that one,
wow,
giving that gorgeous green color. Your water opal, so it's a higher light. Then this one here, so this is just pink argonite. It's giving off a bit of luminosity. So this is the honey calcite. This is the fluorite, the green fluorite, giving off that beautiful blue.
Wow.
Color. Some septarian. It's giving off that yellow. Mangano calcite. Let's see if I can get in on the amazonite here. I might actually have to move that.
Reminds me of Avatar. It's so beautiful.
Yeah, it really is. So not all give off this fluorescent light, only certain ones.
Absolutely gorgeous. That's the ruby.
No, that's right. It depends. I've got to have the certain activator elements needed to be able to give off the fluorescence effect or phosphorescence in some case.
Wow.
And here I've just got some Australian sapphires. And as you can
see, I think these have consciousness, Trina. I think there's something in there that they haven't identified that makes them do this, and only certain ones. It's almost like there's a living organism within the crystal.
Crystals are, the UV is exciting the electrons in the crystals and the minerals, and it's holding the energy, and it's so much energy it doesn't know what to do with it, so it emits it back in the forms of different colors of light. And so we have something like fluorescence, which is a form of luminosity, which is from your fluorite. And then you have other things like your lapis lazuli.
I didn't
That's
know
cool.
it did that.
That's cool.
And
I'm gonna have to check.
which are phosphorescent, which means they hold the light, and you can tell, not normally to the naked eye, but you need some kind of camera system, but they do hold the light and slowly disperse it. So they are just a couple, and I encourage everybody to, oh, here we go. Just a little mineral I found that's glowing so gorgeously.
And I'll just play the end of this one quickly.
All right, so I'm just going to go.
So these are just some normal garden rocks that anyone can find. You can grab a UV torch and just go and have a look at any normal rocks near a stream and have a look at what comes up.
I'm totally ordering a black light right now.
You want UV, not black light? UV.
Okay, UV. I'm totally buying a UV.
Dalabor's already ordered his.
Yep.
Someone do. There's a little bit of luminosity.
See, people don't typically think of stones or crystals as having sentience. I think some have more so than others because there's something in them that they haven't identified that causes them to react to this kind of light. Because they don't all do this.
She keeps talking about phosphorus being one of the illuminating factors, and phosphorus is the representation of Venus and the light bearer. So yeah.
They're definitely responding. You're able to manipulate their electrons when other stones you can't. It's just certain ones.
Well, it's just like certain people react to different types of music. So, it's a different frequency of light versus a different frequency of sound. So it's natural that different materials I've noticed when playing around with my UV light that different types of plastics, you can differentiate between different types of plastics with a black light.
William Swan has a great question too. Once you're done, William Swan has a great question.
Yes.
I'm sorry, Dalbar.
I see the question. Yeah, that is a good question. Would a crystal made in a laboratory have a spiritual power of a crystal formed naturally? Yes, of course. Because it depends on if you form it in a laboratory with some kind of intent, and that intent is positive, then of course the crystal is going to do what it's designed to do, what the intentions of the people who made it did. Yeah, of course.
Go ahead, Mandy. What
are you?
They are definitely, you just have to be careful with some of these man-made crystals, because I do know, and I have read articles where they are purposely setting them with a negative or a disharmonic resonance. And yes, it's to make us, because if you turn the human DNA sideways, so on a sound chart, and then you start playing sound, well, that's harmonious. This is not harmonious, and this is going to break down this DNA perfect strand. So it's all about working with things with nature, which are those same harmonious vibrations, because we naturally gravitate towards what we need to heal ourselves. Ever been depressed and wanted to go sit by a beach or a river? It's because you need those negatively ionized particles that come from flowing water.
Doing.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, they used to have the, back in the 90s, they had those ozonators. They turn
negative
on your
ion.
ozonator, and
I have
it's
one.
negative ions. Puts a thunderstorm in your house. I love them. You can overuse them, so you can't do them too high. You got to kind of respect the ozones, but ozonators.
This is that crystal that was glowing green.
Yeah.
Sodalite.
So that is black tourmaline in hyalite or water opal, and it's actually the bits of uranium stuck within the hyalite that make it glow bright green. And so obviously when the UV light's going through this and it's letting out that light, these are vibrating at a different resonance, a different frequency, which helps increase our resonance and frequency, especially when we're feeling all of these major energy shifts within the Earth at the moment, and something like the Schumann resonance. So when you asked me before about the crystals growing, yes, so this is some apophyllite, and there's a little bit of a misconception in the crystal industry with if it ends in ITE, it doesn't like water. Sometimes that's true, but for the most part, that's not true. Apophyllite, you need to put it in your water regularly because it is grown in a hydrothermal. So you can see how this bit of crystal here is completely different to the rest.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So that has actually grown within a matter of a couple of months.
What? Wow.
Yeah, I'm not kidding. And the best way I
growing.
can prove it,
That's insanely awesome.
if you see this cut here, the crystal is actually outgrowing where it's been cut. So that shouldn't happen unless it's growing. But yes, and it's happening very quickly. So I've got pictures of this from a few months ago and none of this was here. And you can also start to see the separation. I'll have to take pictures.
I do see that. I see it. I see it.
And so
wow. There's a couple questions for you, Mandy, here. What is the shortest amount of time a crystal might form? That's coming from William Swan. The shortest amount of time. You've seen it actually happen to rocks up on your path, on your walkway.
You can crystallize sugar in a matter of seconds.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's
Sugar.
true.
Yeah.
Rock candy is a perfect example of
I
that.
love
Borax.
Rock candy. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, borax.
Yeah.
Yep.
Borax.
Borax.
Yeah.
Yeah, borax. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're salt. You can get some normal rock salt and put that in hot water, dissolve it, and then put a little crystal with a bead on it on a string hanging over the top, and you'll get these perfectly cubular rock salt shapes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But now I've done that experiment with the kids and the kids that I used to take care of, and it would take days. They would watch it. They'd go check it and come out from school and stare at their beaker, and then they get up in the morning and look at their beaker to see what happened overnight. And it's interesting to see how quickly these things will form, but over several days, over 5, 6, 7 days, especially with the borax, when we were doing all the Christmas tree ornaments with the borax crystals, adding the food color, and getting all these different shapes.
Yeah, those are great.
Yeah. But those are a matter of days, but I would say you were talking about months for some of these actual quartz crystals, right?
Well, when William asked if it was naturally I have gotten a quartz just recently, which was grey down the bottom and clear on top. And I put that into some dirt I got from Uluru. And it is now sucking through the dirt in the veins. And I started to notice that in less than a week. And I have new crystal growth and I have been documenting it. So lately it has seemed to be very, very quickly. This was not here a matter of weeks ago, I believe. Even to the point where I've had these for a while and you can actually see where it's not perfect because the crystals have started to break off, or in this case, even started to grow and then sided again. So you can see that perfect crystalline structure happening.
Yeah.
And that was a couple of days. I was playing with some infrared light and then I noticed that a couple of days afterwards. So it's very interesting to see how these different light spectrums and things like that are interacting with things.
I want to show you something. This is part of that crystalline grid that Karen sent out to all of us. A lot of us have a piece of this. Came off the same fault line, right, Trina? Can you all see this? All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I know I've got some special effects going on here with my background, but that's one side of it, and this is the other side of it. Okay. And what I want to show you is this powdery substance.
It's grown.
These crystal forms have grown. I've been looking at them every week. I take it out and look. This crystal that Karen gave me is starting to grow. It's out of dirt. I'm not even keeping it in the dirt. You see all that cloudy substance?
Yeah.
I can actually wipe it, and I can see the difference in here, the actual size of these crystals that were almost granite-like, small, are chunky now. See the bigger chunks?
Mm-hmm.
They were really
Incredible.
small. They were really small.
Wow.
So this is part of the crystalline grid. and it's growing in my box here, in my room.
Wow.
So, William, I was under the belief that crystals took centuries, if not millions of years to grow myself, until I went to a trip fossicking, and I was like, these crystals are too big and they wash down every year. And the amount of crystal growth that we're even seeing in some of these new fossicking places within Australia is we are pulling out some really big crystals at the moment. And this is one thing, is as the Schumann resonance gets higher, we're also noticing that energy change and within us. And just, can I throw something a little bit crazy out there? Is a diamond. Say if there was a diamond in the center of Earth. Okay, so when a diamond is, it's two pyramids on top of each other, and that's where it will naturally grow. And then if that spins really, really, really quickly, then what you would get is a torus field, which would mimic what we call the Van Allen radiation belt. Yeah. And if that energy is getting more intense, rather than just being like this, it's now got a secondary field coming in on it. And this is why we might
from
be
below too, like this way and this way.
This is why we might be noticing an increase in the Schumann frequency long before any of these solar storms are hitting us, is because that is now trapping those bits of UV, because we also know that a diamond increases in frequency when we not only spin it, but when we also add UV exposure to it. And as well as electricity will help it grow faster as well. And we are more electrical than ever. It's so just all of these factors.
Us. That is us.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Trina, did you just have a piece of that same crystal that you were holding up there?
This one I was going to just read you about the angel aura. Have you guys ever seen the angel aura crystal?
No.
There we go.
Wow.
It's really
nice.
Wow.
Very pretty.
Nice. It's glassy.
Is that the one that Perry gave you?
Yeah. And it's beautiful. It's literally, it's so pretty. It's like it's got a white underneath it, and it's like it just grew trees. Let me see if I can get that. There we go.
So cool.
They're like little trees.
Wow.
Oh,
that Perry Egan is a sweetheart. Look at that. Look at that.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know.
You just turned it, and we could see every crystal. Wow.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
That almost looks like a diamond.
It does.
It is so pretty. I love it. And it's called an angel aura quartz. It's clear quartz infused with platinum. It brings joy, positivity, strong connection with others. It aids in insight, balances all of the chakras, helps one to see new paths, and enhances psychic abilities and spiritual purpose. So
that's so
thank
pretty.
you, Perry. I love it.
The angles. I have
and
I
they're
can't tell, but
facets, so face it.
This is a malachite bracelet.
Yeah.
And I wear it all the time.
Can you show that again?
Yep. It's on leather.
I love that.
That is not fake. This isn't plastic, guys. This isn't plastic. That's real.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's real malachite. It's malachite stone.
Wow.
It's so bright that it looks fake, but it's not. I had it checked out. It's real.
It's beautiful. Wow. This crystal here is growing tons of babies, guys. I mean, this is another one.
Is that the same as the piece from Karen?
No, this one's a little bit different. But this one, look at this. It's got little protrusions all over it.
Oh, I see it.
It's actually, it's got tons of babies. They're everywhere. You can see them coming out of all different directions, little babies.
All right, so here's my question. Have we just been misled by mainstream science to believe the only way these things are going to grow is by millions of years underground, or is something going on in our energy change that's causing them to grow above ground?
Yes.
What do you think?
Science doesn't know everything.
I don't think I don't think mainstream science would deceive us, would they?
Never.
Very
No,
funny.
but I mean,
Because they
in
don't
geology
expect us
classes,
to
they never covered.
dig into nature and discover the truth, you know.
So I went somewhere a few months ago and had a look at some stones, and I went there just recently, and they were all covered in these beautiful Drew's crystals. Jules got one, the beautiful Drew's crystal stone, like the whole front of it, and that was there in a matter of months. Now I know, and from what I have seen these ones before, they don't grow that quickly. So why is it all of a sudden they are starting to grow as this Schumann resonance is increasing? Maybe the Schumann resonance better supports a crystalline structure rather than, say, some of your organic structures and things like that. Hence why there's a lot of talk about returning into the crystalline and things like that. So this all ties in with our new energy grid. And as we become more conscious of it, because 15, 20 years ago, we thought that when we did this with our hand, it was just the air and then some air behind it. But now we know that there's an energy field here. There's an energy field between the air and the hand. There's an energy field here. And then there's a trailing energy field. And so as we become more aware of that energy, does the energy become more complex and aware of itself?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think
And this is
Absolutely.
happening. It's not just these crystals. Geodes are crystals, but if you take a look at geode formation, here's a tiny one, okay? This one is just really finite, little tiny crystals. So that stupid green screen effect. It's very fine. Let me put it that way. This one is a piece of a completely different geode, and it's got babies.
Yeah, the babies. I've got some of those pieces. Yes.
Yeah, but they weren't there last year. It's taken them a year to grow.
Is growing.
Yes,
very quickly.
Yes.
I don't. That's unusual. I think I don't. That's what I meant when I said in geology class we covered the normal growth patterns. This is way beyond normal.
There's
an acceleration of growth.
What's normal?
That's what I think.
Yeah, what's normal?
Yeah, what's normal?
Right, Jules?
Right.
Jules,
That's what I think.
I've had
normal?
geodes. I've had geodes and crystals small amounts. I don't have a large collection, but I've given a lot away over the years. But they didn't grow like that. They did not grow like that.
Different?
Right. Can I say something?
Sure, go for it.
So in the book here, where we sit is visual light. See, in the middle, that's where we sit there. What we're being bombarded with is cosmic waves and different ones. And they're a different vibrational rate, right?
Yeah.
So what's happening is, because we're being hit by that, we're shifting as ourselves, and so is everything else. Like plants are growing a lot quicker. But the thing is, what the story that we were told to go inside and not hug anybody or touch anybody, because they're electrons, Amber, when you rub it, it creates the spark. Now, how many of us don't physically massage ourselves or physically touch too many people? Because when you're touching them, you're actually radiating and giving off that energy as well.
That's true.
Right?
Yeah.
So a lot of us probably don't even, which I've been starting to do stuff differently myself. Because, there's little things I'm introducing, and I'm noticing.
Do tell, Jules.
I touched myself.
You went there.
Woo!
You went there.
Yeah. I was really going to get Larry to play that song, and I thought, no.
There's nothing wrong with touching yourselves. Okay?
No, and I'm meaning get like I've created my own oil out of my own garden, and and so that has been taken away from a lot of the humans, because you're not allowed to stand close or connect or do anything like that, because they know that is what's shifting us, is that physical everybody's radiating. Everybody's radiating. And so when you've got the amber that's here, that's how the word initially come from. Electron is when this was rubbed together to create the spark. Now,
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
happens, everybody, when you rub something very special, you create a wonderful spark.
Yeah. Yes, we do. It's beautiful.
Yes.
It's awesome. No, I know we're so funny, but there's some really deep, profound truth to it, though. You know, like goodness gracious, God forbid we get excited about living life and
Lizzie, can you come here for a minute?
Even Steve says even the lamp needs to be rubbed.
Yes.
Right.
Steve?
I'm just going to show you Lizzie
Sort
here.
that out
right?
later.
Hi, Lizzie.
Hi, Lizzie.
Beautiful
Hi,
Lizzie.
Lizzie.
Nice to
Very
see you
nice.
again.
Yeah, there's
Good
Mandy.
to see you.
Now, years about 8 or 12, a long time ago, we used to lay out on the grass together and do energy work, and it was not anything sexual, but it was actually activating.
Yeah.
We used to do a lot of energy work on the ground, didn't we?
Yeah.
And a lot of
Absolutely.
our information came to us while we were laying on the grass.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Absolutely.
Well, even in theater, even in theatrics, we dancers and actors, we learn the art of massage, not for sexual purposes, but to relax.
She's a masseuse. Well, she can't hear. She can't hear.
Oh, she's a masseuse. Okay.
She's a masseuse.
You know what's so funny, because I got licensed in massage therapy, and a lot of men get aroused when they're getting massaged, and some of them can't help it. They don't mean to.
Yeah.
And you can see the humiliation and the embarrassment that they start to get taken over with. And it's so beautiful because I've learned how to kick men in the balls with a pressure point in the ankle. So, like, literally, like, if they're having issues, I can just gently go to their feet,
can squash
put pressure.
Yes.
I can quash it so fast, like right now. Right now. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
No, just use your chakra wand. Use your chakra wand.
Oh, honey, I got the Marsha wand.
Oh yeah, you do. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, but no, seriously, there's so much. There's so much going on when you touch. It's literally, it's one of the most healing, most important things. If babies don't receive touch, they'll die.
Have you guys ever had an out-of-body experience during intimacy?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's part of the shock. That's part of the
like a total out-of-body. Yes,
it's part of Kundalini. Yeah.
Where like literally, I would like go deaf. Everything would get quiet, and then it was just like I was in another place. And then it was like, oh wait, I'm here, but I'm also in this other like place. It's unexplainable.
Do you know, people will say, some spiritual people will say that you need, well, not that you need, but it happens at its most purest when there is that union between the male and the female, the yin and the male and the female.
Yeah.
That divine, you need it. But I'm here to tell you that you can do a mind in your mind the same thing.
Yeah.
Done it.
So it's like a
I'm
mind fuck.
I'm not saying you don't need that.
It is. That's what they're trying to do to us.
Total mind fuck.
Yeah.
Yes, but I'm not saying you don't need a male. You need a, I'm not trying to say that.
Within
I'm
yourself.
just saying that you can attain that same.
Well, there is a tribe. There is a tribe where women can just impregnate themselves just through.
I've heard stories about that.
Thought.
Yes.
Well,
Some animals do that. Yeah, some animals.
Yes,
do
it
that.
explains the immaculate.
But I don't want to get rid of men, though. We need them.
No.
Me neither.
Next-
I like men.
I love them.
Yeah.
I love the men.
Yes.
Because I always used to say,
Men are
say
good.
when I was growing up, I wasn't going to go
Very
through
good.
menopause because why would you want to pause from men? And it's not
I
a
would
word
never
they
want to
use.
pause from my
No.
man.
No.
Japan doesn't even have that word. It's just a change of life.
No.
So it's the way words have been used to control everybody.
Yeah.
Men
Yeah.
know to pause.
Yes.
Why do you want to pause from men?
No,
I want
we
to pause
don't.
from intimacy at
I
all.
would want to pause from anything.
No.
It's exciting. Whole of life is exciting.
Sure.
It's exciting. Go
Now,
outside and
the Dogon people still, they have a creation story, and they have some of their older tales. And one of the things that they talk about is, and I believe this is true. Trina can correct me. Others can, Dalibor. But my understanding right now is that different cultures around the world that have these creation stories or their original people's stories will often talk about in their cosmology how males were single cell. I mean, they were self-contained, productive. There was no female at first, and then the female came along. So, what is the scientific term when you're like a frog?
Matrilinear.
Hermaphrodite. Right.
Hermaphrodite.
They reproduce without two sexes. Yeah. And in some cultures, it's the feminine. But in a lot of cultures, it's the male aspect. They were, at one time, there were no sex differences. At some
think
point,
about it. They say woman. It's man with womb.
Oh, womb.
Yeah,
man.
Womb,
yeah.
man. It's a womb inside of man. So man held womb because man was both.
Yeah.
It was both. It was all inclusive of itself. Yeah.
Well, the Hebrew word for semen is she men.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's spelled S-H-E. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
the
Czech word for semen is simply seed. It's the same word as for seed.
Yeah.
So
seed.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
But in our culture, we have an interesting legend that in ancient times it was actually the woman who ruled over all of society, but there was a war and the woman lost, and from then on the men took over. But that's kind of an unusual legend, given the fact that our country was actually started by a woman, by Libouche, who was a prophetess who actually started the whole country.
Wow.
And so it's one of the few countries that you can say was founded by a woman. Yeah.
Wow. It's 10:15 and we're segueing
back.
away. I'm just reminding you, it's 10:15.
Okay.
We started to go off on a different, but I don't want to interrupt you, Crystal. And then Mandy.
Yeah, no, I was
going to
get back onto. Yeah, I was going to get back to Mandy to finish up any videos that you might have, any other information, or if you have any resources too to like kind of point. I think people just going to your Facebook would be an amazing resource for beginners or for whatever level you feel like you're at. Honestly, so.
Yeah, there is I have a lot of stuff on Facebook, and I am attempting to get that out on YouTube more at the moment.
Good.
But sorry, just quickly on that energy thing, I think that it's when it comes to certain energies, I think it's the actual balance of the male feminine energy within ourselves where we feel comfortable enough to have that experience with somebody else. And I think that's where the balance of energy comes in. It's within ourselves, not necessarily from.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Agree. Totally. I totally agree.
Yeah.
I had a Kundalini awakening like this past summer by myself.
Yeah.
Totally internal, totally separate of anything else, but do I like having my mate? Yes, I like being with my mate. I do. I enjoy his company. I enjoy his conversation. I enjoy his energy, so and it doesn't matter, let's say you like girls and you're a girl. It doesn't matter. If you enjoy somebody's energy, you know what I mean? Like, that's really special. If you have that internal divine feminine masculine aspects of yourself in balance, that's really the key there. That's the key. It really is.
We chased Brenda out. Brenda's good night, Brenda. This is on that conversation. I'll be leaving. I'll see y'all.
We love you. Good night.
Good night, darling. We love you.
Yes.
No, so Mandy, you recommended, and I was saying there's an author that you liked, and I found the book, and I'll post it on my Facebook for folks. It's an encyclopedia. It's one of the most. What is her name?
Judy Hall.
Judy Hall.
Yes. And also, just something somebody very wise has recently taught me in the last couple months, that these are just tools. You don't necessarily need them in your hand to be able to go, I need lapis lazuli, I need to hold that in my hand. You could just simply bring up a picture of lapis lazuli or go to a crystal guide on the internet and flick through until you see a stone that you like and read the meaning of it, and then just zone in with that, because it's simply a tool. And as soon as you tell yourself it's in your hand, you know, and as soon as you've envisioned that tool, well, it's yours. You can vibrate on that resonance and start to bring your resonance in with that, because you've envisioned it. And our mind, we come from the earth, so we already know what the resonance of that crystal is subconsciously.
Oh, that's a great idea. You know what I just saw? I need to make bathtubs. So like, because I like to meditate and take baths and, you know, relax. Turn the bathtub into whatever stone you need and make the whole bathtub become that stone and wrap your whole body in that stone. One of my clients has one. They have a solid granite bathtub. It is the most beautiful thing. They had to have a crane bring this thing in before they put the roof on the house. It was insanity.
Wow. That's a commitment.
It's so beautiful
right there.
You know, it's so crazy too.
I know where I'd be if it was an earthquake.
Well, yeah, and you can feel the presence of that bathtub in the room. Like how we're saying that these things are conscious. I'm telling you, that bathtub, I can feel that bathtub when I walk in the room. I'm like, wow.
You just opened me up to, like, you wouldn't believe, because I have this like tiny little bathtub. The people here, I swear they were dwarfs.
Yeah.
Dwarfs built this house, and that's why I have fairies out front, because dwarfs built this house. I'm telling you right now. I swear. You get in it, and you're like, here's my feet. It's like, what the hell? So now I can envision something else and enjoy it instead of having a negative attitude about it.
Yeah,
that's great. I love it when you.
I'm gonna try that, man. I'm gonna flip the script on that bathtub. Because I've been bitching about it for 15 years.
Yeah,
that's the problem, Teresa. Your things all shift now once you get in that bath, love. You watch it happen. You watch it happen, Teresa.
You can shift anything. You can shift anything into something that's
seriously. I mean, it's like I've never with that tub, but now I have a way. Thank you, Trina.
Well, it's interesting because I have a fiberglass bathtub, so technically that's quartz. Because fiberglass is glass and glass is quartz. So
that's right.
Technically speaking, it's an amorphous form of quartz.
Yeah. Steve just brought up a really good point, which was something about Epsom salts. Soaps are good. So I also make rocks, like Himalayan rock salts. You know, Laurie got me recently to have a look into Epsom salts, so I started putting Epsom salts in with them.
I do that too.
What is salt? It's a crystal. You put that in your bath, you absorb that through your skin. So aren't you technically absorbing the crystal and then becoming at one with the crystal?
Epsom salt is full of magnesium, and your body absorbs it through your skin. It's really good for you.
I made you have a hot bath bomb. I made a strawberry cheesecake bath bomb with Epsom salts. It's so good.
Nice. Yeah, I saw that. I'd love to have that.
Nice. When you have a hot bath, though, have a cold shower afterwards, because you brought the toxins to the top of the surface.
Always.
And then you need to wash them off.
I do. I always take a shower after.
Yeah. Just rinse off. Yes. Always rinse off after.
Well, Mandy, this was fantastic. Is there anything you'd like to wrap up with or finish up with before we turn it over to Jules for any oracle or?
I hope this inspires people to look a little bit more into crystals. And as I said, you don't need to have a crystal collection to get a little UV light. Make sure you're using protective equipment because you are working with UV. And go down to your local river and see what stones light up at night. Now that it's coming warmer, you can have a lot of fun doing that.
Yeah.
I'm totally going to do it. I'm going to even make a video and send it to you.
I like Mandy's videos. Anybody can go out there with your cell phone. In fact, I do it. I haven't been out as much, but I'm going to start doing it again. I just did one the other day, but anybody can go out there with their cell phone and do a little Facebook video, or even do it off of your camera and then post it later. But when you go to these rocks and streams and walk through the woods, you see Crystal posts those a lot too.
Yeah.
Get up,
I've got
get
so
up
many
front
rocks,
close.
guys.
Take some rocks out of the stream. Take a close look at them. Film them. Show us what you're seeing.
Oh, I've got so many rocks that
start
I've collected
exploring.
out of the rivers. Oh my gosh, you guys! I'm gonna get that UV light and try to like see like what's all going on with
Me
it, because
too.
they're just showing up, and some of them look like they have quartz in them. I know we're sitting on a lot of limestone here as well. So, but yeah, I definitely I'm gonna dig down into it and see what we got around here.
Yeah,
because I have rocks. I have all the rocks all around me, all around.
It's like either get yourself a new metal detector or do that. So I think I'd rather do that.
See, on this property where I live, I got a lot of dolomite. Dolomite, yeah.
What is that, Trina?
What is that?
This is my crystal ball.
Oh man,
so pretty.
Oh wow!
And I've been like holding it. Yeah, and I've been holding it the whole show. And can I just tell you, this thing is really hard to get it warm, and it is hot right now. So it's very happy, and it's sending out lots of energy. So I'm sure it's for you.
Awesome!
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
It's so pretty.
Yeah.
Nice.
What's in the center of it? It just has this glow in the center of it that's kind of unusual.
It's the light reflecting in it.
Yeah,
it's got a panel. Yeah, it's got like a panel. Can you see how it goes through it? And then when it gets the light just right, it lights up.
That's gorgeous.
Yeah, it's reflecting.
That's cool.
Reflecting the panel.
I like it when Trina gets another set of eyeballs from her eyeglasses. It's certain type the light, certain times the light hits her.
See?
There it is.
I've been holding this piece. This is argentinite. I found this in somebody's garbage.
Wow.
You're kidding.
Yeah, it's about 2.5 kilos.
Looks heavy.
Yeah, it is heavy. Yeah, it's. I tested it. It's silver ore. I found it in somebody's garbage. All my crystals I found or have been given to me by happenstance, or I just came across them somewhere by the side of the road or whatever. They caught my attention. So
they found you.
They found me.
The wayward crystals.
Yeah.
Wayward crystals. That's funny.
That's awesome.
Well, that's guys, like Brian Lunsford's crystal running away from him.
I don't know if he ever found that thing.
He never did.
It ran away. The crystal ran away. I mean,
I think one of
you know what I heard?
Took it.
I heard a kid took it. That's exactly what I heard, Lori. I think a kid took it. Yep, I heard that's what I heard too.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, naughty.
But you know what, though? For whatever reason, I think they needed it.
Yeah,
that's right.
Absolutely.
That's correct. That's correct.
That's what I say about the people that took Mandy's little cactus plants that Mandy put out. I'm like, somebody must have needed those.
If they needed them, they could have taken an arm off them, and I would have been more than happy to share. But
that's right. That's right.
But then they came back and they actually, get this now. At first, they just took her little planters, which were nice, and all of her little ones. A few days later, she's like, it happened again. And I'm like, what are you talking about? They dug the stuff out of her garden. I mean, they frickin' dug these things out.
Wow.
And stripped her garden.
Yeah.
Those some nasty people.
No, that's and depraved.
Yeah.
Very depraved. So, Jules, do you have some words of
I said my piece earlier about the
okay. I love you. So, guys, if you don't take anything away from this, get out there and explore crystals a little bit more. Just do it safely. You know, wear your eye gear. You know, wear some glasses, like real safety glasses, not just glasses like this, but like I have real like sealed glasses with foam around them, and then wear your mask with certain things. But you know, this involves research. Guys, dig into, you know, what do you have? What is it? What can just making sure that you're educated. And if you have any questions, go to Mandy, the Crystal Alchemist, and she'll be happy to answer you. Correct, Mandy?
They've coined you the crystal whisperer, Mandy.
She calls herself the crazy crystal alchemist. That's her new
I love
name.
it. I love it.
Crazy crystal alchemist.
I like that.
I love that.
And you have a
like
YouTube channel.
Like both.
She has a new YouTube channel, right, Mandy?
Yes,
What's the YouTube channel?
Yes, so it's just Crazy Crystal Alchemist. I'll be chucking some videos up, going into a little bit more on the luminosity, and it's it's lots of things. I'll put crystals in presses, like industrial presses. I'll crack them open to see what's in them.
Yeah.
I'll light them on fire to see what color they burn off with sulfide. So it's a lot of fun to learn about. Yeah,
and you're still working with magnets too. You're still working with magnetism and crystals.
Yeah, magnets.
You have that experiment.
And the bismuth.
Even if you're going out looking for crystals, grab a little compass and run it over some of the big rocks, because as Dalibor said, he's got a silver ore one. I'd be interested to see what that does with a compass.
Yeah.
So it tells you the direction, because I've got some stones that even change the compass.
Nice.
Well, silver is highly paramagnetic, and what I have is a magnetic wand. It's a piece of plastic tubing with neodymium magnet at the end of it. So if you you don't necessarily feel it in the wand, but if you put the stone in your left hand and you go like this, right above it without touching it, you will feel it inside in your hand, because it has a tendency to both attract and repel the stone. It's not like ferromagnetism, which attracts everything like this, you know. Mm-hmm. No, it behaves differently. Silver behaves completely differently from like iron or other metals. So
like they have personalities, like we have personalities. You know?
Yeah. Some attract and some repel.
Crystal, I have a couple quick announcements.
Sure.
It's 10. It's almost 10:30. So real quick, right, Crystal? Tomorrow night, Lori and I on Pure Love, we have the card reads, and we're opening it up to anyone who wants to try to practice their intuition, trusting their intuition, and if folks want to participate and help these folks develop that, be in the chat room, ask for a card read, and let's give these folks an opportunity to let that energy flow from them. Sure. Because I think it'll help open people up that have been holding back. Mm-hmm. So Lori thought it would be a wonderful idea, and this was Lori's idea, is to open it up to folks, and so folks who read cards. Yeah, there's an excellent opportunity that Lori's giving us there. We really appreciate that.
Gifts and talents.
Exactly. Yeah. Start sharing them. Start using them. I
typically use letter cards from the game Speedy Graffiti.
Yeah.
And
oh, nice.
This one's X. It's a word game. It's a word game, and I just took the cards from it.
So how do you interpret the card?
Well, I shuffle the cards and I use intuition to decide which card to pull.
That's so cool.
For example,
I love that.
Right now I have E and let's see, O. Z. Zoe.
Zoe is my daughter's name.
Energy of Oz. Energy of Oz.
What do you say?
Energy of Oz. Yeah.
Oz. Energy of Oz.
And Oz is Australia.
Yeah.
Wow.
There you go.
That's interesting. I like that. Cool, Dalibor.
Yeah.
See?
That's cool.
That's cool as
life.
Yeah.
Life.
Yeah, Zoe means life.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. So go out and live, everybody.
Energy of life.
Yeah.
See, you guys. You see, you never know when your intuition or that you're being a conduit, conduit from the universe to. Well, what we're gonna do is we're gonna drop the StreamYard link in the chat room. Periodically, we'll drop the link in, and anybody from the chat room who has a deck of cards that wants to come on and pull a card or
fun.
Just have fun. And some people are like, "Oh, I'm so nervous because I only do it with certain people." This is the whole idea. It's just we're family. Yeah. We're sitting around having a cup. We're sitting around having a cup of coffee or a cup of tea. Yeah. We're hanging out. You're not on national public television worldwide. It's just your soul tribe. Kick back, take your shoes off, relax.
Yeah.
No shoes.
No shoes. Next Wednesday.
Pendulum also
Esoteric-
helps.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
no
yeah.
shoes allowed. No shoes.
Let's see. Next Wednesday night, Esoteric Egypt Part 8. We have Laird Scranton joining us. He's been all over, and he's going to be talking about the science of the Dogon, the language and symbols, how it relates to early Egyptian, and how it's almost like a new kind of Rosetta Stone for reading hieroglyphs. What he's unlocked there, it's pretty interesting. He had a couple books on the series. Plus, he touches on other cultures as well that had an influence in Egypt. So that'll be on Wednesday.
That's excellent.
Friday the 14th, we have a friend of Jules coming in from Australia. It's called the Maya Movement. It's Julie May. May, a friend of the girls here, right? And she has a program called the Maya Wellbeing, right, Jules?
Oh, lovely. Yes.
And
it's a luxury movement. Like it's she works with the fascia sort of thing. She can explain it. I mean, I just had a massage from her and it was just luxurious. But she'll talk about her whole movement
program
she does.
Because she does massage. She mixes the massage, meditation, movement, and some other things in there. I guess sound. I think she mentioned sound, and she puts it together into a program for you. You can book an appointment with her. She does some stuff remotely online, but in person in Australia she does too. So we're going to share this out with your community in Australia, but we'll also do it for the folks who right now can't travel. But she has this wonderful program, and I want to hear more about it. And thank you for introducing us to her. So she's coming on May 14th, which is a Friday.
That'd be
Another
great.
Jules.
Another Jules, Julie May. Her name is Julie May.
Surrounded by all these jewels.
Pretty. Yeah.
Well, we hit on the Michelle's the past couple months. Let's just Jules.
There we go.
All right, that's all I have, Crystal. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Did you have something up about the T-shirt thing? And Robert's tomorrow night, right? Robert is tomorrow night, and then there's a T-shirt thing coming up soon.
Yeah, that's not yet.
Tomorrow.
I don't think that's yet. No.
We're planning it. Okay. And then Big Al, still go to Queen of Quartz Crystal Network.com. It's in our YouTube link.
Description.
You can get to Big Al's. Yeah. You can get to Big Al's Creations. There's a link in there for him to do the business cards and anything you might need, card decks. Well, not card decks, but the mugs and T-shirts and whatever you need for your design work. He's got that going. Plus, the Barnett card deck orders can be done through there as well. And then also, if you're doing book illustrations, Siani, who wasn't in here tonight, she usually is. Siani had her book cover. She just had her book cover designed by Scotty Roberts, and it is beautiful.
It was beautiful.
Oh my God, it's a mystery. It's one of these mystery books, and he just did such a cover on it. It just sucks you right into I want that book. It's just
nice.
He's a talented artist. Definitely.
Yeah, he is.
Oh my God, he really is.
Digital medium,
Yep. And
Al
is
might have
too.
To hit him up for my cards, my business card or my logo,
Yeah, well, he does some of that kind of work. He does do that kind of work. Al does it too with mugs, and they both do that kind of work. But Scotty does most of his business is driven. That's how he makes his living, is off of his customized illustrations.
Oh, I bet.
And they are just. I mean, he'll do illustrations for children's books or any other kind of. And you open those books, and you're just sucked into the whole storyline with those illustrations. So
definitely a gift.
Yeah, so go check that out.
Oh God, yeah.
All right, and check out Marsha. Marsha has been updating her Facebook page pretty much regularly now. So go in there every week, and she's got new products all the time. And she just posted something the other day.
The new Ankh ones are gorgeous.
Yes, the Ankh ones.
Ooh, I want one of those.
Pretty. Yeah,
I want one of those.
Yeah. So yep. So.
Get while the getting's good, because she's in jail a lot, so you got to be careful with that.
She just got out. She just got out.
Guys, and if you guys want me of my new bath bombs and my bath soaks, they're I have some that are just really, really amazing. If you guys would like to give them a try, just hit me at
They're
my
amazing.
email and I'll let you. I'll let you know. Yeah, like I put some videos up on my Facebook of my bath bomb. At first, it kind of was like, okay, it's anything, and by the end of it, the bath was like full of bubbles from working it around. It's just so
Your
luxurious.
stuff
so
is
relaxing.
amazing. I
I
love
just
everything
heard from
you
Elderberry. Elderberry's
Mhm.
son said that my soap made his skin super, super nice.
It
So
does.
I'm
It's
very pleased to
amazing.
hear that.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yep.
Yeah. So,
All right, Mandy,
you
thank you
guys.
so much for being with us and sharing us and all that
Thank you
hard work
so
you
much.
did.
Yeah.
Yeah, we appreciate
Thank
you and
you.
love you. Dalibor, thanks for joining us. Crystal,
Yes,
love
Dalibor.
you.
I love you guys. All right, you guys.
May the powers of the crystals fill your light.
There you go.
Yeah, there
Go
you
be
go.
kind.
Yes.
Go
Go
be
be
kind.
kind.
Bye now.
Bye.
Bye.